Hi there, Safuu community. My name is Nathan B. Back with my second video this week. This video is focused on light nodes. So if you're thinking about getting a single light node, maybe two light nodes, this video should really help you in making some decisions around what are some of the costs that are going to come with running your VPS in the cloud. Are there any other cheaper options out there for you to help you with that decision process? So yeah, let's get on with it. If you've watched any of my other videos, I spend a bit of time in the white paper around this section, which is the system requirements for our nodes. There's nothing that details that there's system requirements for light or full nodes. All it says here is that the system requirements for nodes is this. So I'll just go over it again, which is for the operating system, we need either Mac OS or Linux. I've focused mainly on Linux. We need 8 gig of physical memory. We need an additional 500 gigabyte SSD storage. And this line I've stayed away from just because I still believe it's wrong. It's a typo because 8 gigabits per second is 8,000 megabits per second, and internet speeds for upload and download are measured in megabits, and my house gives me 350 megabits, which is a long way off from 8,000 megabits per second. So until that's corrected, I just have left that one. The other piece of information here is just that it's we need to have a 4-core or 4 virtual CPU for the processor. So these are the facts we know as per the white paper. So I've based those facts and the information we have into all my videos, including this one. Another bit of information from a previous video I did, which was titled Who's the Cheapest Cloud Provider for Your Node, focusing on the 3 biggest ones, which is AWS, Google, and Azure. I based that on a 1-year commitment, and that cost, the cheapest one was AWS at $96.94 per month. So taking that information and what we need here, I started to look around at other providers, and also I had a question in one of my videos from JP, which you can see here, which was asking, what about another provider? What about Cantabo? And it got me thinking, yeah, maybe there's other options, maybe there's cheaper options. And from what I've been listening from Brian is that, yeah, we should probably look at AWS or Azure, but technically we still should be able to run the nodes on any provider, unless the SafuuX team, devs, Brian, or extended team come along and say no, then I don't see why we couldn't pick any provider. So in saying that, I looked at 4 for this video. And the first one was Vultr. Now, with each of the 4, what I looked at is really just 2 things: cost per month and where their data centers are located in the world. So with those 2 pieces of information on the 4, let's start with Vultr. So if we scroll down here, you can see that cloud compute is what we want for our VPS. And I looked through all the different cloud compute options, and high performance was where I believe we are at for running a node on a blockchain or for a blockchain. So in saying that, if we look down here, we see our first requirement, which is 4 virtual processors, 8 gig of physical memory, but we don't have enough. We don't have a 500 gig SSD disk, but that's going to cost us 48 per month, okay, for the compute. All right, so if we take that 48 and we now need to add some block storage, all right, which is here 500 gig, and that's another $50 per month. So the 48 and 50 gives us for Vultr a $98 per month, which is actually more expensive than AWS. Looking at the locations, they have 25 locations globally in most continents except for Africa, I believe here. But that's their data centers across the globe. The next one is DigitalOcean. Okay, so I'm going to look at compute. They do it in what's called these droplets, which are the virtual machines. If I go down here and select premium, that would map with high performance from the previous provider. And then I look down here and you can see 8 gig of physical memory, 4 CPUs. And again, we don't have enough storage at 180 gig, but that runs us at $56 per month. If I look back here, or go back and then go down to volumes for block, and I look at, you can see here a 500 gigabyte disk is what we need, and that adds an additional $50. All right, so for DigitalOcean, the 56 for the compute and the $50 for the 500 gig SSD puts it as 106 per month. So we're climbing. The only thing I could find with DigitalOcean on their data centers across the globe is they have 14 data centers across the globe. The second to last one is Lenode. Okay, so Lenode had this nice calculator that I could put in my Linux operating system with the latest version of Ubuntu, my region closest to me. I then have, if I zoom in here, you can see 8 gig of physical memory, 4 CPUs, again, not enough storage. So I had to add my 500 gig here, and that gave me 110. So we've increased from Vultr at 98, DigitalIO at 106, and Linode at 110. The last one, well, just before I get to that, their Linode's data centers globally looks like this. So they don't have any in South America or Africa. The last one of the 4 I picked was the reason, I guess, for making this video, and also from JP's comment, was Cantabo. Now, Cantabo, you can see here that we have some pricing options here. Okay, and I'm going to look here and see, maybe I'll zoom in here a little bit. Does that make it easier? Maybe. That meets our requirement. That meets our requirement, but this doesn't with the 200 gig. Neither does the 400 gig here, so we have to go up to this 800 gig option here to give us that 500 gig SSD volume as per the white paper. So I'm going to select this one at $19.99 per month, and it gives me actually more power. It gives me a lot more physical memory than the 8 gig required, but I also have this 800 gig SSD. If you look at the regions, this is, I believe that this company is out of Germany, so they don't charge for that region. I'm going to select the East US because that's what I've been basing most of my videos on in my location, and it adds an extra $6 to it. My storage type here is well above the 500 gig SSD required, but it is free. I'm picking Ubuntu here as my Linux option, the latest version, and you can see that that is free. They do offer a bunch of other different versions of Linux that you could look at. And if I go down here, there is really nothing else to add on at this point because we've met all our system requirements. If you look over here, the contract period is just 1 month. There is a one-time setup fee of $6.99, but the monthly cost here is $25.99. Okay, which is a lot cheaper than the previous three I showed you. If I look at their locations, you can see that they have locations in Europe, the United States, Asia, and the UK. And within the US, I can see that they have a US East option for myself. All right, the last part of this video is I'm going to jump across to the SafuuX.com site, and I'm going to look at the Linode calculator because that was the focus of this video, is for people that are thinking about getting 1 to 3 Lite nodes and what those costs look like, and is there a cheaper option out there. I'm going to leave the $9 launch price, and also I'm going to leave the 100 million on daily volume. And I'm going to play with this this daily VPS cost here. So if I go in and think about what was the 1-year commit for AWS, the cheapest of the big three, and that was $96.94 per month. 1-year commit divided by 30 gives me $3.23 per day. So if we add that in there, I'm going to look at monthly income for 1 Lite node. That's going to give you $332, taking into consideration the node payout and the rebase, daily rebase and the daily node return, taking out the $3.23 per day for AWS on a 1-year commit. So if we then look at, say, Cantabo, which was our cheapest option that I have found so far, which was $25.99 divided by 30 gives us, let's say, 0.87 cents a day, and that gives us $422 monthly income. So it's a difference of $90 that you would be making in your pocket if you went for the cheapest option, which is this one here. Now, so yeah, in closing this out, remember Brian has said that it should, or it could be, Node should be or could be run on AWS or Azure. I don't know if they're gonna lock that down as a hard requirement. I don't see how they could. Technically, you should be able to run it at home or on any provider you want. But with the information we have, I hope this helps in making some further decisions in how many Lite nodes you're going to buy and then what the numbers are. So until next time, bye for now.